There's Wimkin. Perfect. Going live. Let me know when we're green.
We're in.
I can't hear you.
We are in.
Okay, cool. Leaving out. Good job. Thanks, Wimkin. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Rumble. All green. If anyone's having a problem, let us know. Sorry for the delay. We were running a little bit late. We had some stuff going on. We'll go over it together and kind of talk about last night for those who weren't on. We're hoping everyone's safe from the hurricane. We didn't know what type of... We have a lot of southern people who watch our show, and we're making sure they're all good. Crap, I haven't checked on Still Point. Let me do that real quick while we're waiting for this. Got a lot to talk about, which we will go over tonight. Where's Still Point? Where's Still Point? All right, we got 25 seconds. Where's Brandon? Where's Brandon? Is Brandon on here? Brandon. Yeah, there he is. Got him. You guys all safe? Check in. Mofo. All right, folks. We'll be right back. 3 minutes. Thanks for being patient. We will extend the show tonight.
Howdy, y'all. This is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever, we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
It's Red Friday. RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
Adjusting transmitter output. This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Hi, Liv.
Hi, dear.
You doing okay over there?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Just want to make sure because, I care and I want you to feel loved and appreciated. And,
You're gonna put that over my face.
I figured that would be apropos for.
I have absolutely no makeup on and I don't care.
You don't need makeup. You've never needed makeup. You have not. I mean, anyone who, you're ridiculous. You're so hot, it's sick. And it just, I know you always sit there, oh, men, you guys age like wine or whatever. And I'm like, you're looking pretty damn good. You don't need makeup. You've never needed makeup. It's ridiculous. The only thing it does is a little bit of eyeshadow, which isn't needed. You look like you have makeup on. I just think you look hot. Folks, we're leaving. We need some alone time. See ya. Bye. I think, honestly, there is nothing. The two times that I thought you were the prettiest was one morning when we woke up from, I want to say we were in that shitty little place in Wyoming when we first moved to
Laramie.
Yeah.
That
Not
basement,
the apartment, but that basement shitty
yep.
place. And we didn't have any sheets, but we had like a old twin or queen something sheet, and we just laid down that top sheet. And you were like sprawled out, and you were laying down, and your hair was all piled up, and you were on that white sheet. And I saw the side profile, and of course, you were disrobed.
Disrobed.
But you were covered, right? And your sheet was like over your back, and you could just see your neck and the top of your, shoulders and all those. And it was like Julia Roberts from when she, is with Richard Gere the first day. And I was just like, oh my God. And then the second time is after you had the baby. You look like complete dog shit.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but you weren't hot at all. You were horrible looking.
No.
I just thought I would throw that one in there.
Yeah. Oh God.
After
Hayden.
Sorry, you looked horrible.
No, I did. It was awful.
No, but I thought maybe you thought that I was going to say something nice and sweet, and that's just so
You're
out of,
you.
Yeah, it's out of character. But
it wouldn't be you if you give me an amazing compliment and don't say something like that afterwards.
Right.
Because I would think something's wrong with you.
But the good news is that the second time is tonight. And I think you look beautiful. Thanks. So I love you. And you can tell everybody what the hell took place.
Oh my God. I was a blubbering mess. There's no way I could have come on last night at all. I mean, thank you all for the messages. So many people reached out and I appreciate that. And ouch. That's a bummer.
Yeah. Rutherford County in Chimney Rock. We'll pull up some of that. In Rutherford County in Chimney Rock.
I don't know which state that's in.
It's in Rutherford County.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying that.
Chimney
Still
Rock.
points here.
Good. As long as still points. I care about everybody, but it's you gotta get still point safe.
So thank you to everyone who reached out last night and today. It made me feel special and loved, and I really appreciate it. And just know that every single message made me cry.
So why don't we go through what happened real quick?
So the company I work for, I guess the cat's out of a bag. I work for a Montessori school. Let's put that in the past tense. A Montessori school, and I am the lead teacher in the toddler room, which is 2-year-olds. So I have 17 2-year-olds that I watch after on a daily basis. And I have always wanted to be a teacher. And I was an assistant at first, and then I got promoted in June. So I'm just getting my room in order. Well, apparently my company hasn't paid rent in I don't know how long. And the landlord locked us out late Wednesday night. So I didn't even know until 10:45 on Wednesday night. And we're not getting any answers. No one will tell us anything. We don't know if we're getting paid. We don't know if we're getting our PTO. No one will tell us anything. We don't know if we're reopening. None of us know anything. They're giving us the runaround.
No HR department.
Yeah, it's just, this is just a shit show. And it is just, it's horrible. I think I cried more yesterday than I have cried in a very long time.
Yeah.
So,
I had to smack her a couple times to get her to get out of it.
and on top of the fact that I've got a respiratory infection.
Yeah.
And my crayon fell out.
Oh
It was a shit day yesterday.
Wow.
So, but yeah,
it's been a rough.
It's been a rough day.
Like at one point when she came home today, I'm just like, get up. I'm gonna go take my afternoon nap like I always do. And like, just come into bed with me. We're gonna just lay there. And I'm like, we'll cuddle and we'll just relax. And so 3 minutes in, I'm like, you're not gonna relax. Sorry. She's like, no. And I said, get the fuck out of bed.
Yeah, I don't take naps unless I'm really, really sick. I can't relax. I don't know why. I just don't do it.
Olivia's a tough broad. She's not weak. She's tough.
Several parents have already reached out to me, which
it's good.
Several parents have told me that I was their favorite teacher, which has made my day. But some people have reached out to me for possible nanny jobs. So I'm probably going to go the nanny route. I highly doubt I'm going to stay with this company at this point because I don't trust them, because we're not the first school that this has happened to. There was a school in Aldi that they did this to a few months ago. And apparently there's other schools around the country. And we've also just found out that there are arrears on every single building that they own. So I don't know how this company is in business.
Yeah, I got involved about 20 minutes ago, and like Plymouth Rock landed on them, and I haven't put on my executive hat in a while, but it most certainly came on, and I called essentially the regional manager and laid into her pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, she's not being cool. She's condescending. I was supposed to have a one-on-one meeting with her at 5:45 today, and she just blew it off. No contact. And the other one she's laughed the whole way through. And the other girls reached out to me and was like, she laughed at me, and she's a horrible person.
Yeah. So
that's
Big Daddy's involved, and we'll be doing a full show on this company. If it comes to that. And then I'm going to make sure that this show is advertised in every zip code that they have a corporation. And my sole goal will be to bankrupt the entire company. I don't play this game. We shut down 232 GameStops. I know how to do it. I love guerrilla marketing, and I have no problem putting my marketing skills against this company. Not very happy. But anyway, I don't mean to go into sob story and then right into a coffee pitch, but there's nothing like coffee to soothe your soul, especially with the Don't Unfriend Me Coffee brand. Donald J. Trump just decided to spell coffee one morning, COVFEFE, and I decided to say, well, I'm going to create the Coffee Company, and that's what we've got. So Don't Unfriend Me production. This is the FJB bag. We've got 5 different bags. This one's a little bit of honey and caramel, and I don't like flavored coffee, and this stuff is the bomb, yo. Not really the bomb. The bomb is the mother of all brews, which is, right, you're horrible at this. Here, tilt it forward, go like this. Okay, perfect. So the mother of all brews. This comes in a hermetically sealed bag. Nothing's getting through this sucker. You can't smell any coffee. But when you open it up, oh my God, it literally fills up the entire room. It is amazing. It's made by veterans, and it's in Wisconsin. And Matt Hawley is on vacation. He's going to be shipping out everybody's bag. We have ordered a metric shit ton of coffee this week. It'll all be going out next Thursday when he gets back from vacation. Last but not least, you may notice that right over, Livy's going to pick up her finger and put it right over that blue dot. Venmo. We now have Venmo, and everybody was like, we need Venmo. So now you can go ahead and donate with a P.O. Box, Venmo, or PayPal. It's really simple. I'm going to show you how to do it real quick. A lot of people need to know because they ask, and then we're going to address something, and then I'm going to go. linktapgo.com/okay. You want to go ahead and click it. linktapgo.com/thedumshow. No B, folks, no B. Go to linktapgo.com/okay. It's really a lot easier than this. It's my first day, Okay, right here, it says donate to the show, and you're going to see a little button that's going to jump up and down at you. Click donate to the show, and now we have a custom page. It'll go right here. We have our listing at Don't Unfriend Me for PayPal, at The Dumb Show. You can click these red buttons. It'll take you to either or our P.O. Box address. We appreciate it. We are fully funded. We have hit our goal for the month, and we appreciate you and thank you for your support. Okay. I wasn't going to do this, Liv.
Oh, really?
I know. I wasn't going to do this. I wasn't going to give this person the airtime.
Oh, you are going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I got some words to say to him.
You know what? But here's the thing. We're going to treat this like we're going to be like Donald Trump, where he only mentioned Joe Biden's name one time. We're just not even going to mention this person's name.
No.
And that's what they want, right? They want the attention. They want their own channel, which is pathetic and has like 10 viewers. So we're not even going to give that person. We're going to call this person the Mad Arab. That's his new name. So the Mad Arab is a person who I had on the show a few times. I decided to bring that person in because they showed an interest on the show. And I've had many people who've come on the show. What usually happens, we have our regulars like Mel, and you'll see Amy come on, and you'll hear, Frank, and you'll hear Kevin. Damani Felder comes on. You've seen Ryan Weaver on, Eli Crane on, and we'll have special guests from time to time. Well, he was a guest because he demonstrated some interest in the show. He had expressed that he was an MMA fighter, and he's whatever, and generally a nice guy. Definitely showed him respect, let him have his opinions and broadcast them. Gave him plenty of airtime on the show. All seemed fine, and was a regular of the show. Promoted us quite heavily, and then Jews decided to go ahead and do the worst thing possible, which was to have a terrorist attack against them. Fucking Jews. I mean, Siri, how inconsiderate of the Jews to have a terrorist attack against them. I mean, seriously, do you think they could have been a little nicer? So the Jews, their fault completely, were attacked on October 7th. And of course, I started covering it in detail and started talking about the time that I worked with the Israeli Defense Force and worked with Mossad and worked overseas, which is a very limited experience, but still an experience that I absolutely treasure. And then obviously my lineage and some backstory with why I support Israel in this. Now, I don't support everything Israel's doing. I think what they're doing is what most wars are like, which are atrocious and people die and it sucks. It's no different than any other country. It's no different than what we did with Iraq and Afghanistan. It's no different than what the Russians have done, the Egyptians have done, the Moors and the Saxons, the English, the Chinese, the Japanese, and pretty much every other country in the world. We just don't like it because it's mainstream and we can have instantaneous news. But if we saw what happened in Vietnam, if we saw what happened in the Civil War, if we saw what happened in the American Revolution, our stomachs would absolutely empty every day. So in that essence, of course, I'm going to have a different perspective being a military person. Some military people think Israel is wrong. Some people think they're right. But either way, we at least can give a very cold-hearted what a lot of people think is cold-hearted review of what's taking place. And that's just because we've seen things that most people haven't. Now, I want to make a couple things clear before I address this, but I have to address this because this is important to me, because I don't feel right having anyone, people can go after me all they want. I don't like it when people, I'm going to kill that cat. Can you just get her down? I just, she just needs,
she loves
can
it.
she just hold still?
No.
Okay.
Everyone loves it when she comes on.
All right. So the reason I'm addressing this is because nobody goes after my mods. 30 and 14 on the dumb polo. Congratulations, Scotty. Nobody goes after my mods. Yeah, Penny Purdue says, yeah, that's the Jews' fault. Like this 2-second failed attempts at Trump. Like Trump, how inconsiderate of him to have an assassin shoot at him. You think he would try to do better for us? That's sarcasm. But when somebody goes after my moderators, I want to explain what my moderators do, okay? My moderators don't work. My moderators watch the show and they volunteer to do this because it's not a job. It's not like they're sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day and just cranking out content and writing for the show. They literally come on and go, oh, let's look at Facebook. Well, that person's an idiot. I'm going to go ahead and respond. Or that person said a racial slur. I'm going to ban them. or I'm going to go on Dan Bongino and talk about the Don't Unfriend Me show and promote them. Very, very limited amount of work. In fact, it's not even work. And if you ask them, they'll tell you it's a 100% voluntary type thing. Amy does more because Amy has always done more, even when we didn't ask her. And honestly, they just kind of fell into this role. People are just like, I want to take part in this. Now, I want to go ahead and be completely transparent. I have been accused by the Mad Arab, first of all, who is a sexist dick, who hates women, is completely degrading.
Ugh.
To a point where, like, I'm like, dude, you got to stop. And if I say you got to stop, then my God, there's a problem, right? So I want to be completely transparent real quick. Every other person in the network, and there's like 12 different people in the network outside of Olivia and myself, have all blocked the Mad Arab because they can't stand this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And most people who've been here a while have blocked him because he tries to reach out, and his penis is so small that he thinks that there is some sort of pent up relationship between us. I haven't thought about him until the last time he threw a fucking temper tantrum and a hissy fit. I haven't thought about him since the last time that he sounded like a prepubescent girl. Well, here he is again. And the only person who hadn't blocked him was Amy, because Amy took pity on him. And he decided to go ahead and go after Amy. And we're going to talk about, Matt, this is not a kiddie cooking show. I know, it's what I'm trying to say. So we're going to talk about this because this is important. And we always do this. We don't only just cover the news, we cover who we are. And this is why we have a tight-knit community. The one thing I hear from everybody who watches Crowder or Shapiro or Bongino or whatever is that our community is the cleanest, with the least amount of spam and the least amount of trolls out of all the networks.
Because we address the trolls and they're like, oh, uh-oh.
Right. Or, we give them what they want. And this is what we do. And we're going to do it here. And we've got a troll, and I'm going to address them. Here's what it says from the Mad Arab. Can I call him Chris Brown too, since he hates women?
Sure.
So the Mad Arab, Chris Brown, says, I want to ask you a serious question. This is to Amy. I'm coming at this with respect and honor. Okay, so I'll tell you a little something about the Mad Arab. The moment that he says, I'm coming at this with respect and honor, Liv, what does it mean?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Pretty much is what he has absolutely no respect, because when you listen to the rest of the message, he just condescending in every way, shape, and form. It's horrible.
So when he says, I'm coming at you with respect, there will be no respect and honor in this message. Okay. He says, with respect and honor, like you're my aunt and grandma. Okay. First of all, she's not your grandma, and Amy is not old enough to be your grandma. And if she is, you incestual mad dipshit, she would have been like 12. So that leads me to believe that there's also some things we need to know about you. So please maintain the same respect. Okay. How does it feel helping Matt pay off his mortgage in his $900,000 5-bedroom house in Round Hill, Virginia? First of all, it's $975,000, number one. But the mortgage is $625,000. So there you go. Ha! He's watching. He just downvoted us on YouTube.
I thought we banned him on every channel.
No, he's on YouTube. Fuck you, man. I can't. I'm so happy you're here. I was waiting for the downvote. I was waiting for the downvote on YouTube. We don't get downvoted on YouTube except from the dipshit Matt Arab. So then he says, how does it feel helping Matt pay off? So it's $975,000, by the way. Our house is appreciated almost $350,000 since we've purchased it. So my mortgage is only $625,000, which is a steal in Round Hill, Virginia. And yes, everybody knows I'm Round Hill, Virginia. We put up the fucking address every night. So yes, congratulations on figuring that, Spy Master. All right, next one. This is so fun. I just, I love doing this. It just makes my soul happy. Next one. Plus, you are getting none of it. Thanks for telling me what part of Virginia. Oh, here, let me just I'm trying to put these up at the same time, but he likes to repeat himself. Round Hill, Virginia. Plus, you know you are getting none of it. We'll talk about the none of it in a second. Thanks for telling me what part of VA he lives in. It really didn't need to know that, but blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then the next one we got. Oh, this is so fun. The Mad Arab says, but you don't know how to keep your mouth shut, so I don't know. There's that respect again. You know, that woman thing? We should start calling him Ike Turner. So Ike Turner, Chris Brown's father. I heard you used to hate Matt. He manipulated you, which isn't hard for an intel serviceman to do with your IQ.
There's that respect again.
Oh, he's so respectful. Dude, listen, just all seriousness. Amy is 100 times smarter than you, dude. She is one of the quickest people I've met in my life. And she would trounce you in any conversation because she can just crush you without a care in the world because she won't yell. Her emotions won't get up. She'll never lose her poise. Unlike me, I'll do those things to you. She will just bitch slap you all over the place. Okay. Let's see. Let's be real. Matt doesn't respect your intelligence. Even though you just said that she was low IQ. You just said she was stupid and I don't respect her intelligence. Which one is it? Arab man. Even though he does respect you for the most part. Dude, do you understand that you are one of the fucking dumbest human beings I've ever met in my life? And I swear to God, I have met people who are 6 months into the United States in an ESL program who grasp the English language with more effectiveness than you ever could. Holy shit, you're stupid. My God. I mean, dumb as dog shit, dude. Seriously. I'm not kidding. Here we go. Here's some more. Okay. I wasn't going to do this tonight, but I have to do this. I have to. No one puts Amy in the corner. Matt's convinced you his show's mission statement is to change policies. No, it's not. My mission statement is to change shit. My mission statement is to have the Don't Unfriend Me show, which is to report on things that I try to understand and comprehend and disseminate that information to all of y'all. Truly, my mission statement isn't to change anything because I don't have the power to change anything. But what I can do is not policy-based, but I can maybe change minds. And that's a good thing, right? I mean, because all you did was say how great I was for most of the time, that even when you were trouncing me, and you're doing it now, and you also say nice things throughout this thing and then talk shit at the same time. This is what's confusing, but we're going to cover all of it, Matt Arab. Even though Matt is highly informative and heavily experienced in the world of the government, thank you, he knows a show is not going to change any policy, but you, Amy S., fell for it.
Again, there's that respecting. There's that respecting part because, you know, he respects women so much. Our
entire hour? You mean the Groypers? See, I think the worst thing I did for you, Carrie, is exposed you as a Nick Fuentes Groyper, and you're fucking pissed. You are pissed that I exposed you for a little Nazi bitch, and that's why you're mad. That's why you're pissed, because what you guys like to do is troll everybody and get into their network and then go ahead and slowly try to turn people against. You guys think you're good at this, but it's an obvious ploy. We know this, and there hasn't been one Groyper who has successfully hijacked this show without our complete acceptance and contribution to the process, because we love it when you turds come on. So when you say our, all you're doing is 100% reinforcing my comments that you're a Groyper, because who's our in this? Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Muslim Brotherhood? No, dude, it's Groypers. And you're a Groyper Jake Shields bitch. Okay? So enjoy that. Here's the next thing. Our entire beef is predicated on Matt upset being called an, oh my God, being called an entertainer and social media influencer. That's not why I was upset. I wasn't upset at all. I called you out for saying, and you made points that I was biased and had a slant towards Jews. You also disrespected Jews several times on my platform, along with women, and said some fairly anti-Semitic shit. You then said that I was entertaining people versus actually influencing them and giving them information, and it was all designed as entertainment purposes, and that's not what I do at all. So you made accusations, you lied, you disrespected plenty of women on my show. You had people who had complained about you ad nauseum. I gave you a platform. I treated you with respect. And you are going around behind my back and talking shit to people who like me much more than they like you. So they're all telling me what you're saying, and you're upset about it. We can go back to those episodes where I showed the actual messages, and it was nothing like you said. He's exploiting you off the back of thinking this is done for a higher political cause, when in reality, he's got his own cause in keeping up with his mortgage. Olivia, do we want to tell him about our financial stasis with the house? No? Okay. Do we want to show him? Okay. It's so embarrassing.
Oh my gosh.
I never understood with people who try to cancel people how they pretend that you understand my financial situation, and you don't have any idea what you're talking about. But let's finish this. But hey, all the work you do, of advancing the Matt Spear brand. He even admits he can't pay you. Can't? Won't is what we talked about. Won't. Yeah. And every single mod has never been promised money. Ever. Not one of them. Even Amy. But we'll talk about that in a second. He even admits he can't pay you and shamelessly still puts you to work. Work? Ouch. At least Leroy and the real estate woman, her name's Amy, fuckhead. And she's also richer and smarter than you. And you would not sleep with her because you're a fucking insult. You're a little groiper insult. Can you imagine? Listen, if you hate women and you won't have sex with them, what does that mean? Because I don't quite understand. That's what I'm saying. So you get so upset when I call you gay. You absolutely fucking flip out when I call you gay. I think you're a homosexual. That's why you latched on to me so quickly. And you were blowing sunshine. Oh, Matt, he's in such good shape. And Matt, blah, 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 blah.
I could have guessed that by the way he treated me and the way he treated you.
I think he's a little jelly. I think he wants the dick.
I think he's a little jealous.
Listen, Matt Arab. Here's the thing. Get yourself a camel. Okay. Ride him on over to my house. Bring some Barry Manilow, some baby oil, and a decent back rub, and we'll talk. I'm open for just about anything. I'm not gay, but I'm willing to learn. And real estate women on the show have careers and toss this up as a hobby. What about you? Actually, let me just go ahead and explain what's taken place, okay? Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. My house and my house payment, I've made a house payment in quite a while. That's all I'm going to say. You don't need to know anything else because then you're fucking business. Second, I've never, ever put anyone under any delusion of where my money goes. And the only thing I have committed to is 10% goes to Travis Manion Foundation annually, which you can check my tax records if you want to. It's public information. If you want, I'll post them for you on the website. That's fine. I can show you a couple pictures with the checks I've given, but I don't need to do that because I don't need the attention. To give Tori Compatore, the family of Tori Compatore, and the shirts that we sold for like $1,200, we gave net proceeds to his family. I'll go ahead and show you that. Those are the only promises that I've made. Oh, and the $500 we raised for Damani Felder, which Damani was on last week and said thank you to everybody, so I'm sure he didn't lie. So I don't tell anybody and commit to anyone where the money of this show goes. Every dollar that you donate to this show goes to me. And then I distribute that into my bank account, and I pay my bills, and I pay for the internet, and I pay for upgrades to the show, and I get us cool things like apps, and I go ahead and build relationships with people, and I go ahead and market and do advertising. It all goes to the Don't Unfriend Me show. So versus you going ahead and buying something from somebody else and it goes to the publishing company or it goes to an advertising company, which you guys do all the time, it goes 100% to our show, which is a cool thing. Okay? Next, Amy, Leroy, Olivia are co-founders of this show. They're listed as such on the website, and they have all received $10,000 in stock from Wimkin, who is also a partner of this show. So they've been paid. I've received $10,000 in stocks from Wimkin. And guess what, dick fuck? Amy Stamcombe has received $10,000 in stock from Wimkin.
Are we done with his comments?
Ruh-roh.
Psycho check, psychos!
That's what I think of you.
So, Matt Arab, thank you so much for stabbing in the dark. Thank you so much for not dude, it is so awesome that I know that I am in your head rent-free when I don't even think about you. I swear to God, I have not thought about you since the last time you melted down. Thank you for attacking Amy. She finally blocked you, and we'll see you next time on the days of our Muslim Chris Brown, Ike Turner lives. Okay? Thank you for giving me that downvote, fuckstick. I love it. I love it. Keep seething. Cope. I'm an MMA fighter. Okay. Anyway, Amy Stamcombe, I remember when that one guy reached out to me about Matt. Which one guy? Who was that? Amy Stamcombe, who was that? Bubba says, Amy, I blocked I can't say that, long time ago as well. I don't need terrorists able to reach me. I tried to meet him when I was in LA, nothing. Then wiped my hands since he was too much of a poon. Yeah, he's kind of a douche plow. Amy, you, as far as financial and what you've gotten, I'm not even going to talk about that. Plenty of people on this show have raised money for Amy, and we've grossed up the taxes, and you don't need to know. It's none of your fucking business what we've done. We don't answer to you, okay? You can try to make some big controversy. You can try to cancel me. You never will, because I am the most open and honest, and I say it, and I put it all on the line. I don't hide shit. I'm not afraid of controversy, and I will dedicate an entire night just fucking you up. It's what I do. Okay? So when you come at me, right there.
Make sure to come at him hard.
Yeah,
I'm
hard.
sure that's what you're thinking
It's
of.
it's going to be given anyway. Dude, my wife does not like you, Carrie. She fucking hates your guts. Like, I've never heard her talk about a human being the way she talks about you.
Dude, I'll get you in a freaking WWE fucking F ring, whatever the thing you think you're in, and I'll kick your ass.
She'll, dude, all you got to do is flash me your boobs and it'll be like, oh my God,
Dude,
female bits.
I'm Mexican. I hide knives.
All right, Carrie, we'll see you next time, big guy. All right, so we got a lot to do. I'm sorry for the language. Definitely hot. What's going on, Matt? I hope you guys are safe in Georgia. I hope you guys are doing well. I was hot because it's not the day. But this is what this guy does. He knows that he can go ahead and stir up a hornet's nest, and that's fine. And he thinks he wins. He doesn't win. He's just like every other groiper. In the end, you're just a neo-Nazi fascist. And that's pathetic because you're Muslim. I mean, the Iranians sold their souls to the Nazis. Look where they're at. Fuck, man. I mean, seriously? Whatever tickles your pickle. Let's move on. We got a lot to do tonight. Sorry for the language. Oh, Bubba says, that makes my heart so big hearing the hate for the nerd. It's not hate, it's just truth. It's just truth. There's a difference. The Arab probably has a GoFundMe page, rubber boots for sheep. Velcro gloves, they won't run away that way. You just put it on the Velcro, you know. Mm-hmm. All right. Lindsey Graham. Do you know who Lindsey Graham is, Liv?
Yes, I know who Lindsey Graham is.
What do you think? I heard the storm is heading towards Ohio. Y'all stay safe there.
That's why Leroy's not on the show tonight.
Yeah, Leroy's hunkering down.
Yep.
Which basically means doing nothing and drinking whiskey. Lindsey Graham, do you know who he is?
Yes.
Okay, so Lindsey Graham is this guy who was a never Trumper in 2016, hated Trump, despised Trump, railed against Trump, okay? Mm-hmm. Then
Then I haven't seen his face in a while because it's stuck so far up Trump's ass that he's just kiss ass.
Oh, wow. You know what? We need to get you fired from work more often. I like you like this. I like you.
You
like
want to
this.
know what's funny? You want to know why I was laughing? I just got an email from said person we just got off the phone with.
Oh, read it.
Oh, you want me to read it?
Yeah, read it. Don't mention their name.
Oh,
Just
I
read
won't.
it. Okay, so this is the person I just read the riot act. So I'm already warmed up for Kerry. So, the mad Arab. So I did mention his name a few times, but whatever. So did Trump. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, this regional that I was supposed to have a meeting with that she failed to call me. Dear Olivia, I'm so deeply sorry to have missed that you indicated you'd like to have a one-on-one this evening. I would have loved to meet with you and simply did not see your name when looking over the schedule. I know how significant this oversight must have felt for you under the circumstances. I'm sorry. It's just funny.
It sounds like AI.
And I want you to know it was absolutely not intentional.
Yes, it was.
Her asshole's puckered. She's a little scared. I've greatly appreciated the opportunities I've had to connect with you and would have loved to connect today. My hope today was to chat with everyone about transfer opportunities available in the region and answer any questions you may have about the path forward. If you'd like to speak with me or with somebody else in leadership, please let me know and I'll be happy to make arrangements.
Yep. That's
Asshole has puckered.
that's HR approved. So
Yep.
basically what she's saying is knock off the grab ass, lower your tone, or you're not going to have a transfer opportunity. That's what she's trying to tell
She
you.
doesn't realize I'm not transferring anyway.
Yeah. So that was a threat. It's just a threat. It's what's known as a veiled threat. I've written 1,000 emails like that.
How is that a threat? What is she?
Because what she's saying is, listen, okay, it's what's known. Have you ever heard of a butt sandwich?
Maybe. I don't
Okay.
know.
So an apology, like when I say the word I'm sorry, that's a complete sentence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But if I say I'm sorry, but
It's a asshole afterwards.
everything after but, you've said asshole like 17 times tonight. Is there something I need to know? Okay. So don't go there. Carrie will get excited. As long as you just go afterwards. All right.
Make me laugh.
So a butt sandwich is when you predicate something you say with but, and then you end it with but. Anything you say after the word or anything you said before but is completely absolved. It's just like what Carrie did. Like, treat me with honor and respect because I'm about to treat you without honor and respect, right? So a butt sandwich is when you put a butt end on it and then say it. So I would say, I'm sorry, but you're being a complete douche plow, Olivia. Okay, you're not sorry. So what she did is she started off, and what you do is you start off with something nice. You put in the middle the real meaning, and then you end it with something nice. So you put two butt ends on it. And the real meaning of the email is in the middle. So quickly read it again.
I am so deeply sorry to have missed that you indicated you'd like to have a one-on-one this evening.
Okay, so there, no responsibility, completely turning it around on Olivia, that you indicated that you wanted to have a meeting. Here's the but. Go ahead.
I would have loved to meet with you and simply did not see your name when looking over the schedule.
So it's not my fault. It's your fault because I didn't see it. So there's more but. Here comes the truth.
I know how significant this oversight must have felt for you under the circumstances.
Continuing the but.
And
Oh, here it is. Here's the but. And can also be replaced with but. So here it is. You got the but. The but's concluded. Now here comes the truth. Ready? Here it is.
And I want you to know it was absolutely not intentional. I've greatly appreciated the opportunities I've had to connect with you.
Still the but. Sorry.
And would have loved to connect today.
Okay. That's the but. Now go into the
New
meat.
paragraph.
New paragraph. Here
My
it is.
hope today was to chat with everyone about transfer opportunities available in the region and answer any questions you may have about the path forward.
Yes.
If you'd like to speak with me or with
Okay, now it's over. Now here comes the rest of the but.
If you'd like to speak with me or with someone else in leadership, please let me know and I'll be happy to make arrangements.
So what she's trying to say is, you missed it. You're unhappy. I know you're unhappy. I don't take any responsibility. Did she say I'm sorry at all?
I apologize at the beginning.
That's not sorry. So all of that, and then she tried to go ahead and explain away her apology. She should have said, I apologize profusely. End it. Move on to the next part. But she didn't. She explained it away and tried to give her reasoning why, which means she's not sorry. Then, with a very veiled threat, my intention, my honorable intentions, were to talk to you and offer you relocation opportunities. But if you don't want to talk to me, you can go ahead and reach out to other leadership if you want to. Blah, 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 blah. That's a veiled threat. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, that's a butt sandwich. And anyone who's been in retail knows what a butt sandwich is. It's just saying a bunch of stuff and bracketing it with good, bad, good. That's it. Okay? Are we done?
Yes.
All right. Lindsey Graham hated Donald Trump. You said his head was all the way up Donald Trump's ass for the last few years.
Yep.
And he has been moving away from Donald Trump.
Oh, really?
There are no transfer opportunities because she would have to drive an hour. And it's my understanding, Olivia has no desire to drive an hour. Okay, so we're going to stop talking about this and we're going to get to Lindsey Graham because people watch the show for this type of stuff too. Lindsey Graham, I want to show you a video and I just want to show you what a coward this person is. First of all, a complete warmonger. If you want to know what the uniparty looks like, it's him. Lindsey Graham is an old, archaic dinosaur in politics. He is a neoconservative. He is a Newt Gingrich conservative. He is all about flexing the arms of Western civilization in a militaristic style. He believes in the military-industrial complex. He believes that might doesn't mean strength, but to execute strength upon anyone who disagrees with the United States. This is what he believes. He is going to rail against Trump and throw him under the bus and give a soundbite for all the newspapers and everything else because this is his chance to get rid of Trump before he has to kiss his pucker again in 2025 if Trump wins. Listen to this.
And I regret that. So everybody who comes on this floor and says our border's broken, we should do something about it, you're absolutely right. And unfortunately, we didn't get there. President Trump opposed a Senate bill. We couldn't find a better way forward that would get 60 votes. I hate that, but now we have to deal with what's left for us to take care of in the world. So the
Okay. What'd you hear there, Livy?
I heard the and the but in the sandwich.
Oh my God, you're so good. Dude, that's why I showed the butt sandwich. This is fantastic.
Smart.
It absolutely is a butt sandwich. He went ahead and laid out this and apologized for it and then went ahead and passed the buck on to someone else. Let's go over a few things with the border bill, okay? Donald Trump wasn't in office, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, there was no official statement from Donald Trump to negate or trash the bill. Let me ask you a question. Do you think the right to life bill would have been voted on by the Democrats without being shot down by Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or Barack Obama? Of course, because they did it. They did it in 2013. Do you think that they would not openly go ahead and talk about the extension of the tax cuts to the 16 different demographics inside the tax bill? Trump's tax cuts that went for all the elite and all the corporations. Well, they extended it to 2025 and 2022 when it expired. Do you think that they went ahead and got orders to do so? Of course they did, because they all voted against it when Donald Trump proposed it in office. And then they railed against it and said that the tax cuts were 100% harming Americans. It was only going to the elite. That's bullshit. The tax cut took time to actually work. Of course it did, because that's not the way taxes work. It's not 1 year. It's over an entire 4 years of a presidency administration where you will see the economic benefit. When you are working on the economy at this scale with this type of money, when you're in a retail position, you do work today that'll impact 90 days from now. In an administration in the White House, you do work today that'll impact the next 4 to 10 years. That's the way it works. So to sit here and say that they expected instantaneous results from the tax bill is ridiculous. If you want to go ahead and demonstrate something that did not work and was completely ineffective, let's look at the infrastructure bill, which is responsible 100% for the inflation increase that we saw. The amount of money that they spent and printed after COVID was an abhorrent thing to do. And you saw the results with inflation. Infrastructure bill didn't build all the EV parks. They didn't go ahead and lay broadband and give free broadband to the inner cities. All these promises of roadways and bridges being fixed. Hell, the Baltimore Bridge, they finally just got all the debris cleared. They still haven't built the bridge. And there's no effort to do it within the next 2 to 3 years. So for the Biden administration to sit here and say, well, I can't believe it, this border bill. Well, let's talk about the border bill. Liv, do you remember how much money was dedicated to U.S. border in the border bill? Do you remember the number? See if you can.
1.5 million or something.
No. It's more than that. But you have almost the percentage right. It was actually 12% of the entire bill's dollar, which was like $1.6 trillion, was going to the United States. They were going to allow in 5,000 immigrants a day, illegal. It's immigrants. It didn't address the gotaways. It didn't address the asylum seekers. It didn't address the people in country. It didn't address the remain in Mexico. It didn't address the children. It didn't address any upgrades to any policies whatsoever that the Republicans wanted. But what it did is it reinforced borders of 16 different nations, 16 different countries, including United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan. And that's really what it was. So Republicans had already planned on shooting that bill down long before Donald Trump supposedly said anything. In fact, if you go back and you look at the bill, they had already proposed their own legislation. We can look at H.R. 1 and look at the other legislations that Republicans push forward. Those are the bills that they wanted to push forward, not the Democrats. They were never going to vote for it. So to sit here and say that Donald Trump shot it down is a complete lie, 100% lie, when we know that they have their own legislation that they proposed, and that is what they wanted to move forward. So accommodation should have been made based off that bill, and then they should have rewritten another bill, and then the border bill would have been voted on based upon trading ponies off the two bills. That's the way this works. Saying Donald Trump shot it down, he may have done that, but it doesn't really matter because it wasn't going to pass anyway. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Amy Stanko says, don't give out your location. We don't care. Listen, I've said it if you want a piece of me, you know where to find me. I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but I'll tell you what, one man defending his home and his family is probably the person you don't want to fuck with. I'm just letting you know. But you know where I live. It's not hard to find me in a town of 500 people. All you got to do is walk in this town and say, where's Matt Spare? And people go right over there. And you know what they're going to do? Who the fuck are you? And why do you want to talk to Matt? And the moment that you ask about me, I will get my phone rung about 17 times. And everybody will tell you you're in town looking for me because they all know what I do. So come find me. You want to see some rednecks? You want to see some boys you don't want to fuck with? Come on out to my part of the woods. Round Hill sounds as redneck as it is. And trust me, some mad Arab comes in here. I mean, they're all going to be like, "Ow, it's Saddam Hussein. That's Baghdadi." You'll stick out like a sore thumb. Lindsey Graham is 100%, with no equivocation, a neocon. And he does not have Trump's back. And these are the people that needed to be voted out. I don't care about South Carolina. I don't care about the Senate. I don't care about the House. You have got to start getting these people out. And honestly, the RNC has got to stop funding these people. You've got to stop it. And I understand it's going to be some pain points for a while. We've got the Supreme Court. Let Trump win. Hopefully we get the House and the Senate. He can go ahead and put 2 more Supreme Court judges, lock that thing up for 50 years. And then we got to start cleaning house. The end of his term literally should be railing against these people. And I don't care if he's got to support independents. I don't care if he's got to start supporting moderate liberals. I don't care. It's at least we know where the enemy's coming from. At least we know where these people are at all times. But when you put an R in front of your name, all you're doing is allowing these people to do damage and put this out on CNN and MSNBC, where Lindsey Graham, a complete supporter of Donald Trump, is what they'll say, has turned against him. It needs to stop. Lindsey Graham, I have told you, is a weasel. I don't like him. I've never liked him. I didn't like it when I met him. He's a douche plow. Completely.
You met him?
Yeah.
When?
Outside of DC, when Flags of Valor did an event, when we went and took the pictures at the the Vietnam Memorial, he was there.
Shows how much you were impressed, because you didn't even tell me.
I didn't. He's nothing. He's just a neocon. He has no loyalty to Republican Party whatsoever. He is loyal to himself. Period. And he's an opportunist. He's just like Trey Gowdy. He's just like all these guys. Got a phone call. Who wants to talk? Where are you calling from?
North Carolina.
What's up, Bubba? How's North Carolina doing? You guys safe?
Oh yeah. We had a bloke through this morning, and it was a bitch. I got to tell you, man, we got dumped on.
Yeah, I bet. It was moving at 25 miles an hour with all that water. It's dangerous as hell.
Oh yeah. It hit basically. I'm in Fayetteville, so it hit to the west of us and turned kind of northwest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we still got dumped on. I mean, even being on the east edge of it, it was incredible.
Being on the east edge is the hardest. It's the worst, because you get
it's
those
the outer
eastern
bands.
bands.
Yeah. It was terrible. Hey man, I just want to call and tell you, I love your rant earlier. That the crazy Islamic guy, whoever that is.
Yeah.
Love the way you tore him down. I'm going to tell you something, dude. I watched your show this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody bitched at you about not being a great orator. You got Barack Obama beat to hell.
No, I don't know about that. He was pretty good. I listen. Old Barack can put some sentences together. I got to give him that. He was fantastic.
He was polished. He was educated. You know, he's that Fowlinsky product. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to from the heart and speaking your mind, you've got him beat.
Appreciate you. Thanks for saying that. I'll be honest with you, man. When you don't lie and you don't bullshit and you don't hide things, you don't have any fear. It's like, go through my credit card statements, go through my internet browsing history, go through, check my Facebook for old girlfriends. You're not going to find them. It's just when you live your life a certain way. Now, there's skeletons in my closet. There's things that I'm not proud of. There's no doubt about it. And if they came out, what I would do is I'd say, yep, I did that. I admit that. Oh, you were addicted to Oxycontin? I was. You treated people like shit when you were their boss? Yep. You physically beat the shit out of people for hardly anything. Yep, I've done that. There's a lot of things I've done I'm not proud of. You've yelled at your family and taken things out on your family for 2 years. Yep, I did. So I'm not afraid of admitting my inequity. And the reason why I don't go to confession is because I don't need to, because I've already confessed my sins. And anything that I haven't confessed is simply none of your business. And if somebody asks me, I'll tell them. But it's uplifting to know I can't be canceled. Cancel me. Try. Find something. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. So that's it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I've traveled the same route in my life, and there are definitely skeletons in my closet and things that I've done that I'm not proud of, but sure. I will always man up to it. And that's the only thing you can do. I totally agree with you. You've got to do that. Because if you don't, you lose your self-dignity.
Oh, well, that's the truth.
You got nothing.
There's people that are like, have you said the N-word? Oh,
it's Frank, not Kevin.
I just have to put it up and then I edit it. Sorry. I know it's Frank. I was doing it while you're telling me. So people ask me, have you used the N-word? Oh yeah, sure. I've told black jokes like crazy. I still use the N-word. I'll be sitting with Olivia and something stupid will happen and I'll say, like, I'll do a black imitation voice and drop the hard R. I'll make jokes about Islamic people. I'll make jokes about women. I'll make jokes about white people. I don't care. I come from a generation where everybody is vulnerable, and there is nothing wrong with laughing at yourself. Now, do I use racial epithets to describe people? Absolutely not. Do I degrade people and call them, homosexual slurs or something about their? No, never. But I'll use it in jokes, because I think there was a time when we were so much less sensitive because we heard these jokes. We watched Blazing Saddles. We got to see movies where Mel Brooks as a Jew is making fun of other Jews, and it was okay. We got to see movies like Top Secret that made fun of the Nazis and the Third Reich, and you're like, how is that possible? How can you make that funny? So nowadays, you couldn't make the movie Airplane. I mean, they would blow up the theater. Blazing Saddles. Can you imagine, Frank, if we put out a remake of Blazing Saddles, what would happen?
There's no way. There is absolutely no way. We've lost our sense of humor. Besides losing God, we've lost our sense of humor. And, humor is based in truth. And that's the one thing people do not understand. Or maybe I shouldn't say that. I think a lot of people understand that. But humor is based in truth. And if you can't laugh at yourself and you can't laugh at the world and the things that are going on around you, dude, you're on road to destruction. I mean, it's just you're headed nowhere. I got to tell you, dude, I appreciate you so much, and thank you for what you've done. I know this has become so cliche about thanking people for their service. My entire family has been military, all except for me. My son retired about 2.5 years ago from the Army, 20 years in. He's a contractor now. He's got a TS, what is it, a CSI, the next level up.
TSSCI.
Clearance. Yeah. Yeah. And I know now look, he worked out of Bragg. I know that's like the PSYOPs capital of America.
Special forces, yeah.
I know that he was involved in a lot of that. I do not ask him anything about it. I don't want to know. Mm-hmm.
He's not going to tell you.
But I know I know he knows some shit. And he's a computer genius. I mean, when I say genius, I am not underestimating this at all. I mean, the guy can work on anything. And I know he plays an important role in our government still, and I respect that.
That's awesome.
Even though I don't agree with a lot of the things that are going on in the government and the way they run things.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to wrap it up. I remember one time when I was sitting in a corporate office, and I won't say which one and who was there. But this was a board meeting. I mean, you've got, VPs and people who are under the CFO and CEO and COO, and I mean, fairly influential. And this was in 2000 and I want to say 15, maybe earlier. No, it was 14. And Eminem had just released, I think it was Rihanna, the Burning Bed song or whatever. It was controversial. And Eminem came on, and we were all sitting in the room, and the big heads were gone, and this was just the executive team. And Eminem comes on, and he talks, and he's just like, yo, man, I'll just, tell you what, I'm just going to, coming out of Detroit, and, we're just going to go ahead and do what we're doing, man. We're going to keep putting up this music, and, we're just going to feel it. We're going to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Rabbit's going to feel it. We're thumping. And I'm just like, people are like, man, Eminem, man, he's got so much soul. He's amazing, and people are talking and just, oh man, I love 8 Mile, and I just love his music and Mom's Spaghetti, and oh, it's great. And I'm like, oh yeah, I love his stuff. His stuff's amazing. I said, but when he talks, he sounds like a wigger.
You said that in a board meeting?
Yeah. And you could literally hear.
I think I know what company that is.
Yeah. Could hear a fucking pin drop. And the HR person turns around, she goes, what did you just say? And I said, he's a wigger. And she goes, you can't say that. I said, why not? And she goes, you can't say that word. I said, why? Okay, explain to me why I can't. She goes, it's racist. I said, I'm white. What do you mean I can't say that? She goes, you can't call him that. I said, what does it mean? She goes, it means that he's acting black. I said, what did you just fucking watch? And she's like, an Eminem interview. And I said, yeah. And what, if you could characterize him as anything, who he was portraying, what would it be? And she goes, an African-American. I said, is he African-American? She goes, no. I said, then he's being a wigger. And I don't think it's okay. And I don't think it's cool. And she goes, you don't think he should act black? I said, no, I don't. He can act black. That's fine. Everybody can act however they want to be. But me not being able to call it out is the problem that I have. And it's totally
and who
okay.
Does that remind you of, Matthew?
I have no idea.
Maybe somebody who's the former or the existing vice president of the United States trying to do the same thing. Maybe her and Eminem had a phone conversation.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Who reminds me of them? I thought you were saying about me. But see, here's the thing.
Oh, no.
No, I get it. You're talking about Kamala Harris. But it wasn't racist, Frank.
Exactly.
I wasn't.
No,
hold on a second.
Dude,
let me explain
100%.
this. Let me explain this because it's really important that people understand, because some people are like, oh my God, how could you do that? That's the most racist thing you've ever said on this show. First of all, no, it's not. Second, it's not racist. That is a white person trying to be black and changing their slang and their dress and appearance. And it is just honest. Now, if there was another name for it, like DuPont, or, you know, somebody being like Jamal Smith or something, I don't know the other term, but I do know that term. And because it's a word that people think sounds like the N-word, well, why don't we have the same thing about a jigger or a trigger or the word bigger? Why don't we have the same triggers? They all sound the same. So how come we can use those as descriptors, but we can't say wigger? Well, because people have said that's a word you can't use. And I'm like, I don't agree with that. Now, if you want to talk about homosexuals and use the cigarette in English terms, the F word, or if you want to call someone the N word, or you want to use the K word for Jews, now we got a problem. Because there's difference. Those words are synonymous with hating and wanting to destroy a group. I'm not okay with that. But calling someone something from the Urban Dictionary as a white person pretending to be black, that isn't racist. It's just fucking true.
I agree 100%. But the problem is the Urban Dictionary changes on a daily basis.
Yeah, it does.
Depending on how they want to bastardize the English language.
Right.
It's been so twisted and turned around and contorted that it amazes me the things that people get away with now that they never used to be able to do back then. You know, it's just the conversations we could have, the terms we could use, all those things. They've totally contorted. It's just become so ridiculous. I mean, I get so aggravated with the things that I hear on news. And I got to be honest with you, man. I listen to you nightly. I try to pick up all of your daily little rants that you do, 15, 20-minute jobs. I love them. I appreciate it. I am a major fanboy. I hate to admit it, and don't take that in a weird way.
No, that's okay. I've already sent all my dick.
I love the way you talk.
Frank, I've already sent all my dick pics. I've already sent all my dick pics to the mad Arab, so I don't have any more. So I'll get you next month.
I'll send you my email address.
Yes, yeah. You better. They're big files, by the way. I had to use panoramic.
Gosh, Matthew.
Okay, so here's the thing, real quick. You made a great point about the Urban Dictionary and then we're going to go because we got a lot to cover. But it talks about changing you said changing the definition of words. Do you want to hear something interesting? The word bigot. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
Tell me what the word bigot, and this isn't a test, and if you get it right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Give me the basic definition of bigot to the best of your ability.
I believe it's just what you are against, that you do not conform with. And
that's really good.
Thank you. So your thoughts are not compliant with what the mainstream thought is at that particular time.
Okay, so that's really close. So the etymology of the word is you can go back to the 1300s and 1600s for the earliest uses of the word. And the word bigot was around religious connotation. And it was to describe people who went against the church and went against religious doctrine, knowing full well that it was against it and altering their viewpoint based upon their speculative analysis and replacing it against the doctrine and the ideology of the church. So this was used very much in the times of Socrates and Da Vinci and Galileo, as the church called them bigots to the religion, and they were bigots against the doctrine of the church because their ideas of science and physics and human anatomy and the stars were all against the church doctrine. So the word bigot was focused on people who knew better, but still continued to remain ignorant. That's the best way. But it was focused around the church. Then it was expanded. Okay, so 1800s, 1900s, 1930, it was expanded into other forms of bigotry or willful ignorance when it came to the law, or in regards to secularism, or to racial division or segregation. And bigot was expanded. Then in the 1960s and 70s, Webster's dictionary changed it, and so did Merriam and Oxford, as bigot means racial prejudice or racial connotation, and dropped all the other things associated with it. So when somebody calls me a bigot, I'm like, hold on real quick, I'm almost done. When somebody calls me a bigot, the answer is, I am a bigot. And so are you, because there are things that I know are absolutely wrong, but I don't care because my beliefs rule out your emotional attachment or your personal doctrine. And it's an example of ignorance. For instance, I know that school shootings, if we got rid of all the guns in the world, thank you, the Mad Arabs goat who donated it. I know if we got rid of all the guns in the world, there would still be school violence. There would still be, but I know the shootings would go down because all guns are gone. Okay. But I also know the trade-off. I also understand the 1.5 million different crimes that take place every single year that are stopped by people having personal firearms. I know about the 500,000 lives that are saved from having personal firearms well outweigh the cost of the lives that we lose to gang violence and mass shootings. So I know this, but I refuse to relent my firearms because I have alternative evidence that is factual that weighs my choice against what is morally acceptable. And that is a form of bigotry. And that's the problem, is that we've changed the words where they no longer mean what people think they mean, and they've taken them hostage. And we don't have any words to describe what I just described. And we call it, well, it's ignorant. It's really not. So anyway, I just thought I would give that to you. You get last word.
Isn't that the same thing they've done with the word anti-Semitism? Basically the same thing. They've turned it around to mean something other than what it really means. And look, I'm with you, man. I don't leave my house without my Glock strapped to my head. Mm-hmm. There is no way. I don't do it because I trust no one. I always got my head on a swivel. I have situational awareness. I'm always looking in the rearview mirrors. I'm always looking at the people in the stores around me when I go in, because I know there are crazy motherfuckers out there. Pardon my French, but there just are. And if it wasn't for people like me who are trying to protect good people, then I don't know what would happen. So, with Kamala Harris saying, "Oh, I've got a gun now," I said, "No, you don't, you lying bitch. You got nothing." You're just trying to win over something else because you're running for office. She is so chameleon that it disgusts me. But that being said, I know you got a lot of stuff to get to.
I do, but I want to ask you another question. I do, but I want to ask you another question. Okay, so anti-Semitism.
Absolutely.
You said anti-Semitism has been altered. That fucking cat. I'm anti-cat ass is what I. Okay, so what do you mean anti-Semitism has been altered? Help me understand.
Well, weren't the Semitic people the Arabs originally?
Yeah, it was overall to describe nomads and vagabonds and gypsies. It covers the Shiites, the Sunnis, the Muslims, the Jews, all of them.
But then suddenly they switched that term over to mean that you were against Jews. I have nothing against Jews. I think Jews are great people. I don't believe in the politics of their nation, but I think the Jewish people are no different than us or anybody else. They just want to enjoy their families, live their lives, work their jobs, and get along without strife. So that is kind of what I meant by how they switched up the term to apply to something else.
When you say they, who's they?
I don't know. God, the people that are trying to change our verbiage of things and are trying to change our minds and trying to change our politics. So that could be a number of people. I'm not sure who.
I'm gonna say,
put a finger on it.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna address it for you. The answer is no. That's not. They are unfortunately Arabs. There became a strong sentiment when Israel encroached upon the Middle East. Now, they've been there for 3,000 years. In ancient Judea, we know about from Mesopotamia. We know about Palestinia from 1830 Roman emperors changing the name. We know that the original Palestinian people were not Palestinian at all. We know that the group of Palestine in 1830 were vagabonds, were nomads, were from Turkey, were from Eastern Europe and Greece. No, they were not the Philistines. That's absolutely incorrect. Philistines were Greeks. The Philistines were absolutely 100% Greeks. They were not Eastern Europe. They were not Turkey. They were not Afghanis. This is an amalgamation of people who were nomads and tribal, but they are not the Philistines. And the reason why there's a major confusion between the Philistines and the Palestinians is that it sounds the same, and Americans are stupid. No, the Philistines were not the Palestinian people. So just from their geography, from their pottery, from their coins, from the metallurgy that they did use, there is absolutely no connection between the Philistines and the Palestinians. The Philistinian blood and lineage, the lineage can be found still in Israelis. Ancient Sumerians can be found in the Israelis, and Israel has never been removed from Israel completely. Even during the lowest point of having the Palestinian people and the Romans create exodus for the Jews, they still had a population, about 12% of the Jews still remained in Israel. So this was Jewish land, and it's always been Jewish land. But people get conquered, and it changes hand. And to say that the Jews lost it completely is a complete lie. It would be like that Native Americans lost the United States, maybe from a logistical standpoint, economic standpoint, and an influence standpoint, but Native Americans are still here and they're still alive. It's very similar to what happened to the Jews. About 12% of the original Native American population survived. About 12% of the Jewish population that didn't flee to Eastern Europe, fled to Eastern Europe, remained in Israel. So to get back to that, hold on a second. Let me answer. Wait. We can't because I got to address the point, and I've set this up around anti-Semitism. So let me finish this. Anti-Semitism absolutely are from the Semites, right? So you're talking about people who are of Arab descent who essentially are in the Middle East. These are the nomads, the vagabonds. These are the people without country, but it's also the established countries in the region. But most of the Semites it created exodus from their original origins of their country, and they had to reestablish where they were. And that's when you say a Semite. Now, when there became massive hostility towards the Jews and the Arab nations stopped fighting each other and started pointing their anger towards Israel and towards the Jews and the fight for the Holy Land, and Jerusalem, you started to see that hatred, that anti-Semitism predominantly ceased to the Arabic people and the Semites. They redacted the Muslim population because they were the majority, owning 96% of that territory. And there were millions upon millions of Muslims over hundreds of thousands of miles. And Jews had a very small, insignificant minority part of the Middle East. And therefore, anti-Semitism predominantly went towards the Jewish people because they were singled out more than Muslims were. Now, Muslim anger and hatred really reared its head a little bit in 1970, but predominantly around the 9/11 times. There were many things that were happening in Iraq. There was many things that happened with the USS Cole bombing. We had the original towers hit by Muslims, and nobody had this anti-Muslim attitude until after 9/11 that was as excessive as it is. So anti-Semitism kind of naturally adopted and was owned by the Jews. That's why anti-Semitism is owned, and the moniker is applied mainly to people from Israel.
Well, I think there were a few things involved in that. If you go back to the Balfour Declaration, all four parts of it, and see where they were setting up the Israeli state, so that in 1948, wasn't it, correct me if I'm wrong here, but weren't the majority of the Ashkenazi Jews in Eastern Europe sent over to Israel to reestablish that set up state? Am I wrong, or do I have something that I'm not quite understanding here?
Yeah, no, you have it right, but you have it right, but you have your years off by like 33 years, because that was in 1970 thing with the 1917 in the Balfour Declaration, not 1940.
Did I not say that?
You said 1940.
I'm sorry, I meant 1917.
Okay.
My mistake.
So yes, but we also know that the Balfour Declaration and by the British Empire and to relocate the Anastasi Jews into Israel didn't take place for 33 years. Why?
Didn't Hitler have something to do with that? Am I mistaken, or didn't he try to send all of the Eastern European Jews to their, air quotes, promised land to get them out of there? I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing my things that I've learned here, but I know I'm getting some of this right. I'm probably not getting all of it right, but that is why people have made Hitler out to be such a monster. I'm not defending him. Don't go there.
I'm not going there. I wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
Because
all I'm saying is I think he had ulterior motives, because he kind of reminded me, he was against the central bank. He didn't want anybody coming in and governing his country on a monetary standard. Not much different than Gaddafi and several other dictators who we've all taken out, by the way. Go ahead.
So to answer your question, first of all, to segue, you saying something about Hitler to clear up how he was misinterpreted at times, and people to say that that's supporting Nazis is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's very similar to who people say that Donald Trump, like the Democrats and liberals do, that Donald Trump is 100% wrong on everything. There's nothing he's ever said right. Everything is pure evil, and he's a horrible human being. Okay, whatever you have to say. Adolf Hitler was a horrible motherfucker and deserved to die, 100%, and was completely the. If we were going to talk about an antichrist, he fulfills the prophecy, okay? However, there were times where Hitler was misunderstood in what he said and what he did. That doesn't mean in any way, shape, or form that if you can admit that there are times that we mishandled World War I, that we were wrong in the Versailles Treaty, that to table Germany and to remove their military and castrate them in Eastern Europe, although necessary, could have been handled in diplomatic ways to at least leave them a modicum of respect, that they were isolated to themselves and were unable to negotiate themselves out and turn their anger and hatred towards the Jewish people, was something that in Versailles that they did not predict. Now, when we go back to the Ottoman Empire and we talk about Britain and we talk about England and we talk about the UK, which are all three the same fucking thing, that they go, and I don't care what any of you, Wales too. I mean, seriously, can you fucking people just pick a name of your country and shut up? Nobody cares about the UK, the fucking British, the English, the Welsh. You're just a bunch of Brits, okay? And just shut up, and that's what you're going to get called. We won the war, 1776. Fuck you, you're Brits. Now, I don't like the English. When the English went ahead and literally was taking up territory like it was a Black Friday sale for TVs, and they were mass grabbing territory, the Ottoman Empire and the English proposed a doctrine for Jews who were living in Britain, Jews that were living outside of Palestine, and Jews that were living in Palestine, and signed this declaration to bring them back to the homeland, to bring them back to the Holy Land. Because let's face it, the English didn't want the Jews in England either. And like every other country in the world has completely ostracized the Jews. I mean, they have been kicked out of more countries than a prostitute has been kicked out of Sunday Mass. Okay? So
I think like 178 countries, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what happens when you attach biblical treason to a group of people, right? That's what happens, and especially in Europe. So the hatred for Jews was bred long before any single person heard puff of Adolf Hitler. But Hitler used that to go ahead and make excuses for mass genocide and to kill 5 million Jews and 6 million supporters of the Jewish people. But the Balfour Declaration ultimately was something that Europe wanted to execute, and England in particular. So, of course, Hitler is going to find multiple ways to take the Jews out of power, take them out of the central banks, to eliminate the Rothschild influence, which was coming from Britain, and remove them out of society. So German citizens and the German military and the German might could regain power of Germany. So many things were tried, including encouraging them out, relocation, forcing them out, strong-arming them out. And eventually, it came down to collecting, imprisoning, and murdering. Now, there are people who will take the peace treaties that Adolf Hitler proposed, some of his speeches that were completely like almost subservient to the West and Western civilization, where he was willing to tuck tail and listen. And that was after he went into Austria. That was after he went into Poland. Okay. Then he did it when he went and did the Blitzkrieg in France. The man was grabbing territory. Winston Churchill and the leaders of the West did not believe him, and for good merit, because every time he did, he went and broke his promise and broke his words. So to sit here and say that Hitler was a good person or Hitler tried to make peace is a fucking bold-faced lie. It's a bold-faced lie. It's just like Saddam Hussein. He would go ahead and back off, let UN inspectors come in, and then he would gas 100,000 Kurds. This is a constant progression with Hitler that didn't happen overnight. So the degradation of Hitler and his disposition towards Jews was originally, let's relocate, get them out, let's push them out. Then it was, let's collect and let's strong arm. And then it was finally, let's collect them, let's put them in concentration camps and start eliminating. For the people that said that he rounded up millions of people and then was like, oh, geez, I can't feed them, so it's better to let them die humanely and kill them, is the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. Sorry, I went off.
I hope I didn't come off as a Nazi lover.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, that's not the point I was trying to make.
Not at all.
I guess maybe I misread some history. Maybe I didn't understand what I was reading. And when to go back to what you said earlier, but and then I'm sorry, I don't mean to just take over your show, but
Dude, Frank,
I
this
need
is
to
why
have
I'm
a
here.
4-hour
Go ahead.
discussion with you.
Go ahead.
He tried, from what I've read and from what I've learned, he tried to move the Jews over to Israel to give them their own place. Now, I don't know what his intentions were. I don't know why he did it. I know he was run by the big bank because they all contributed to him. And when you look back into history and you look at what the Rockefellers and the Fords and the Carnegies, they all contributed. They were all playing both sides back then, knowing full well that when it was all over, they were going to profit from all of this. And I just see that going on today. It's been going on for decades, and it's how they play the game. Call me an idiot, call me wrong, call me whatever you want. It's what I think is going on. I don't want to say I believe that's what's going on, but man, I tell you, I look at their stuff and I gotta wonder to myself, what the fuck are these people trying to do other than power and whatever?
Okay, so listen, when people talk about the Balfour Agreement, this is the problem with people like Nick Fuentes and Stu Peters and Jake Shields and the Mad Arab, is they only focus on the piece that the Jews in power in England and in Germany present. They don't talk about what the Nazis tried to do. The Nazis tried to peaceably remove Jews like 10 different times, man. And there are multiple, the Havara Agreement, Jewish immigration, the redistribution to Turkey, the St. Louis incident. These are from 1937, 1940, 1923. I mean, these were decades of intent to willfully move the Jewish people out of Europe. So there are, I think there's like at least 7 or 8 different agreements in regards to moving Jews peacefully, but it failed because logistically.
That's the point I was trying to make earlier, Matthew, was that they were trying to just move them out.
Well, right, but okay, but still, just because you have a desire to do something peaceful doesn't mean what you're doing is right.
Agreed.
The Jews were established and found a home in Germany, and they did run the banks. They did run the power structure of the government in Germany. And what Hitler did is, when he could not move the Jews out to regain power and to take over the country again, is ultimately tried to root out the problem with mass deportation. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. And Germany didn't have the infrastructure to do so, didn't have the ability to do so. So they jumped from let's peaceably try to move Jews, take their power, take their homes, take their families, take what they own, take their money, take their jewels, take their lineage, take their heritage, and move them out of Germany and force liquidate their German assets to have them go somewhere else. So essentially get the fuck out. That's not peaceful. You're essentially trying to perform a coup or conquer a people through strong arm, because the Jews, because the Germans weren't always nice about this. The Germans didn't do this with a practical hand and like, okay, why don't you get on the bus? A lot of it was get on the fucking bus or else. And threats. And do you want to leave with something or do you want to leave with nothing? And these anecdotal comments I'm making are not laden in history. I can't give you any specific examples, but this was the mentality, is the Jews weren't liked. They blamed them for World War I. They blamed the failure and the downfall of Germany on the Jews. And they were going to get the Jews out and get them completely out of Germany. And they went from that to let's round them all up No, scratch that. They went to, let's burn them down. Let's move them into the slums. Let's go ahead and put gold stars on them. Let's go ahead and throw fecal matter at them. Let's torment them with fire. Let's go ahead and have a night named after how we're going to literally go in and like have Devil's Night on Halloween in Detroit and do it to the Jews.
Right.
Let's seize their money. Let's seize their information. Let's go ahead and stop any type of government assistance for any Jews. Let's cast them out of leadership, cast them out of government. Let's cast them out of positions of influence. And then that didn't work. Then let's go ahead and create an entire campaign of hating Jewish people. Let's malign them with roaches, with rats, with an infestation. Let's dehumanize them. Let's degrade them. Let's go ahead and serialize them. Let's capture them. Let's get people who support them. Let's take the doctors. Let's take the scientists. Let's take the novelists. Let's take the reporters. Let's take the free thinkers and round them up, and let's fucking murder them. That is a very big jump. So people forget that if the Germans would have just stopped at this point and said, okay, we tried to get the Jews out. We can't do it. We have a choice. We either learn to live with them. We have an opposition party and we have the free people through Volksgrad. Go ahead and remove these people from office and we will make generational change peacefully. Nah, let's just fucking murder them all. So when people try to make excuse for the Nazis and Hitler as they were peaceful at first, that doesn't matter. So was Jesse James. So was Ted Bundy. I'm sure he was very kind to the woman who was sleeping and brushed her hair before he clubbed her fucking head with a log of wood. Okay? So just because people do nice things before, really, it's the aftermath that they leave behind where they should be judged through the annals of history. That's my point.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you draw any similarities from what you've just discussed
Yes.
to what we're going through today?
Oh, no. I thought you were going to say the...
You don't see any similarities at all.
No. I thought you were going to say the Native. I thought you were going to say the Native Americans, and here's the thing.
No.
But it was. But there are lines of delineations to what we did to the Native Americans. Exactly what the Nazis did with the Jews. I mean, if people really want to dive into some sick fucking history, fall into the line with what we did to the Native American people. Now, the Native American people being all peaceful and, you know, chasing the white buffalo and smoking peyote, that's a bunch of bullshit. They were a murderous tribe of people who lusted and slaked for lands and murdered their own people and redistributed people all over the United States. And they had slaves,
they killed each other.
Yes, they did. So they were conquered too. So if we want to go, I mean, they annihilated the fucking Chippewa. I mean, you just, there's a lot of history there, but we rounded up Native American kids and we used Catholic Opus Dei style redoctrination to murder. I mean, you're talking burial grounds of 50, 75,000 Native Americans, buried that we just eliminated and killed. I mean, the 12% of the population that wasn't eradicated by disease, smallpox and yellow fever and typhoid were the ones that fought and pushed against the U.S. government. Those 8% that remained, the 3% of that entire fucking country was murdered and indoctrinated and put into concentration style camps, were beaten, were sodomized and sexually. Just the atrocities they went through from the nuns and the Catholic Church was absolutely ridiculous. And if people just take the time to do the research, you will see vast similarities between the gas chambers of Nazis and what we did to the Native American people, because it was atrocious.
The Christians have been doing this for not decades, hundreds of years. Look back in history, exactly what you just said. I mean, God, I want to be a Christian. I believe in God. I think Jesus is my savior. I pray to him every night.
Yeah.
But for crying out loud, man, the things that have been done in the name of Christianity
It has nothing to do with God. That has nothing to do with God. That's the thing, Frank.
No, I agree. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's
I know.
In the name, they do it in the name of God, but it's got nothing to do with God. It's their beliefs, these perverted fucking things that they have going on in their minds that say, "Oh, God is behind me. This is that." No, it's not. No,
well, of course not.
He's not that kind of. He's not that.
He's
person.
God's about
Not
love.
that guy.
The entire Christian religion's about love. But here's the thing, man, is that people have been abusing religion to usurp people for a long time. It's amazing. It's amazing with slaves that we didn't. Slaves, what we used to control the slaves wasn't religion. It was the whip. And at any point, any of those 4.2 million slaves could have rose up against the South, and we would have had a completely new Southern government, and no civil war would have taken place. 4.2 million slaves could have risen up and taken over the white man. They had them outnumbered 100 to 1. And most of these plantations had maybe a couple.
They didn't know that. They
didn't.
Were so deep down.
Yeah, no. It's not that they didn't know that. It's that they never considered it. There's a very big difference. They didn't have the will because they were literally bred into this culture. And it's like people who say, well, America is the greatest place on the earth. Well, it's because you were born here. Because if you weren't born here, are you going to sleep?
No, I'm just...
Okay. If you weren't born here, you might have different views. So when they were born into this culture of slavery, it's second nature. And it's the same thing they did to the Egyptians. The Egyptian slaves, they took away their ability to read and scribe and write and keep history so they could teach the generations of a time that was long past. And the stories became fables, and the stories became song, and the stories became campfire chats of things that were impossible and could never be achieved. This has been happening for eons, but to even remotely put it on God, and you're not, is where people need to stop and draw the line. Because whether there is a God or isn't a God, God's message isn't that. God's message is love. Jesus Christ is our Savior. He died for our sins. We are supposed to treat our fellow man with dignity and respect and love and kindness in our heart. We are supposed to give without any equivocation or any hesitation. These things are not about murdering people, throwing them in camps, or bringing blankets full of yellow fever and typhoid. These things are foreign to the Word of God. But as man is flawed and man is a sinner, they use it for their own advantage to gain the one thing that they can't possess through the kindness and the Word of God, which is ultimately to usurp power from the people. This is what they do. And to think that the United States is free of it is crazy, because the United States is immersed in it completely. We killed 300,000 Iraqis for no fucking reason, dude.
I agree wholeheartedly. This is all about control. We are in a battle of good against evil. This is where we're at right now. It's between truth and lies, good against evil. These are the only two battles we're fighting right now. And when people open their eyes and wake up and figure out what the fuck is going on, for crying out loud, it just amazes me. I had a conversation with my son the other day. I said, I honestly think 80 to 90% of the people are just stupid. They don't get it.
They're not stupid, Frank. They have the same brain that you and I do. The IQ points between the dumbest person on earth and the smartest person on earth aren't big enough to completely feign ignorance. Now, there's people who can't conceptualize basic things like love and are not born with those things, and they don't have the receptors and the neurons to go ahead and capacitate those feelings. And those people are truly an exception. But even the dumbest person understands the difference between right and wrong. I think
it's their ideals. They've been so brainwashed into thinking one thing, and just
You're talking about you're talking about. I can. You're talking about. You're not talking about capacity. You're talking about re-education. My comment was that even the dumbest to the smartest person on the planet has the capacity for compassion, for love, for hate, for anger, to lie, to deceive, to be altruistic, to be affable. It's not stupidity. It's they don't know any better, just like the slaves. They have been indoctrinated and bred into this country that we are only the red, white, and blue and star-spangled fucking awesome. And that's not true. And what we have done, which is the biggest travesty, is forgot our history and how we got here, which means we are doomed to repeat it. And that's where I'm telling you, I agree with you when you asked, is it resemble World War II now? And the answer is yes. The world is as close to World War II from an economic standpoint, from a geopolitical standpoint, from a class warfare standpoint, than we've ever been before, except for World War II.
Dude, I remember Kennedy, and I'm going to age myself here, but
yeah, this is the last thing, and then I got to move on because I could do this all night, but we need to do the Frank and Matt show sometime. So, but go ahead, and because I got to get to some stuff with Olivia. Go ahead.
I would love to, and I'm sorry I monopolized this. I didn't.
You need to stop apologizing. This is what I'm here for, buddy. Go ahead.
I remember the Cuban Missile Crisis. Mm-hmm. I remember Operation Northwoods. I remember all that. I didn't know it was Operation Northwoods at the time.
Operation what?
I remember that stuff.
Thank you, Stacy. Operation what?
And I just, I look back on that, and now I look at the way things are. I don't see a lot of differences. I see the playbook that they're repeating over and over and over again. And they think that we are so stupid we cannot see this. But I think people are waking up. With that, I'm going to say good night. I love you both. I
Appreciate
love your family. I think you guys are the greatest. I will continue to watch you every night. And all I can say is I love you.
Love you, buddy. Appreciate you, Frank. Thanks for the great
Frank.
conversation. I always appreciate it. Sorry, folks. Sorry for the sense of not for the conversation, but sorry for my beautiful wife who got to go to the bathroom. But sometimes conversations go like that, and I will never not have them. Like, Don't Unfriend Me is not a news show. We're not here to just go ahead and show you cool videos, and we're here for the human interaction, and we crave it. We want it. That's what we want. And although Olivia may not be involved in that conversation to the fullest extent because it goes into things that or something that I'm passionate about. I know, but that's what we're here for. And like sometime, one of our followers might follow who Olivia is constantly talking to on Rumble, and that conversation. Thank you, Nancy Jennings, donated through Super Chat. We appreciate you doing that. It says, I am honestly stocking up on supplies, MREs, water, canned goods, etc. I never thought I would say this in my lifetime. Am I alone here? Well, let's talk about it. We got another caller. I mean, it seems like people want to call tonight. Hey, caller, where are you from?
Matt, I think we got a few things to talk about, man. This is Kyrie. I heard what
go
you
fuck
said
yourself.
earlier, and
Fuck him. I'm not. You don't get a platform on my show. You're the one that we don't want to call. Go fuck yourself. You've burned every fucking bridge that you possibly can, idiot. And I'm not gonna fucking no. You're a douche. You're a douchebag. You want to talk to me? You know where I live. You absolutely know where I live because your veiled fucking threat was well received. You know where I live. Anytime you think you're ready. Trump Vance 2024. Go ahead, honey. What's up?
Well, I was going to say two things. One is we're starting up a fund to get him some more Velcro gloves because I'm sure the ones he currently has are worn out.
What a dick. What a dick.
Also, I would like to wish a happy birthday to somebody.
Who's happy birthday to?
It is Donna on Rumble, a.k.a. 929 Nan. It's her 72nd birthday on Sunday.
Happy freaking birthday. All right, I'm going to entertain this call for 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
All right, 60 seconds. You got 60 seconds, but we're going to lay down some ground rules before you talk. Here they are. Ground rule number 1. You make a sec. Is it? Who is this? Is it
Yeah.
Kyrie? Oh, it's not Kyrie. Damn it. Oh well. All right. Who's on the phone?
This is Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. What's going on? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just wanted to get on here and encourage Olivia, and also talk about the fact that with the Native Americans, I really appreciate how you feel about us.
Okay.
So,
Well,
I know I'm kind of a newbie. Well, not a newbie. You know me. I've been with you guys for over 3 years. But Olivia, this is being addressed to Olivia. Olivia, have you thought about substitute teaching?
That has not really crossed my mind. I've tried working for our school district before, and I was turned down, so haven't thought about going back. But it's something I can think about.
Right now they are. Remember, about a year ago, 2 years ago, I was complaining about not being able to get a job, and now I'm working as a full-time teacher. Except for right now, I'm in the hospital because I let my foot get infected.
How did your surgery go today?
But, it went okay. It looks like with everything that's going on, I no longer have the staph infection.
Good.
But it looks like I will be hopefully going home Sunday or Monday. I already still have my job, thank goodness, because that was one of my biggest concerns about being able to stay employed. But I have a nice little boot on my foot, which means I won't be able to drive for a little bit.
Okay.
But
you're going to be able to vote.
That's one of the. Huh?
You're going to be able to vote, yeah?
You better believe I'm going to be voting because I was believing in voting all the times that I can. And, of course, I've already got the voting thing, in November. I've already got my ballot requested so I can absentee vote, but take it down to the area that I vote in.
Okay.
That way I can make sure that I get to vote and make sure that they know how I feel about things going on right now, because not only do I live in the United States, but I live in Oklahoma, which is vastly reservations upon reservations.
Yeah, yeah.
And, of course, Cherokee Nation actually has a prominent about having a seat on NATO. And Cherokee Nation is also a nation within a nation. So right now I'm in the Cherokee Hospital, the Hastings, WW Hastings is where I'm at right now in the hospital. So I went to Hillcrest, which is Oklahoma Hospital, but now I'm at Hastings where I prefer because they have really good medical care for us. It's almost like going to a military hospital, but it's really a good hospital system.
Good. So. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm going to do this. Thank you for your advice, Liv. Did you want to say anything to Elizabeth?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I can go on the website and see if anyone's hiring in the district, but I've actually been reached out to by several of the parents of the children that I had in my class, and it probably looks like I'm probably going to go the nanny route. And a lot of those parents aren't coming back to school, and they still need childcare.
Yeah, so and prostitution isn't an option like it was in Colorado because there's just not enough people here. So, all right, Elizabeth, I got to let you go. I'm kidding, by the way. I got to let you go. I'm going to give Kyrie a shot. I'm going to let him have a minute. He's got to convince me in a minute, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks, buddy. Good luck with your foot. Keep me up to date. She's amazing. Kyrie, you can call in. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you 60 seconds. I'll just give you 60 seconds. Here are the rules. You disrespect any of my mods, you disrespect my wife, you disrespect any women, you're fucking gone. You can say whatever you want about me, I don't care. And you got 60 seconds. You got to convince me. And if I like what you say in 60, I'll give you another 60. And I don't care what you say. You can talk shit about me, whatever. But it better have something real to it. Because if it doesn't, yeah, you're done. This is the last time you come on my show. So if you want to call in. You got 60 seconds. Amy says, how did he get the signal out there in the sand? Okay, yeah, listen. Just because I called him Mad Arab doesn't mean I need to go ahead and continue to do that. I'm not gonna make the goat jokes anymore. Listen, here's who I am. Pretty simple. I'm like a Jew. Okay? You know, Beardson called me a Jew. He was one of the groypers that came on.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, just hold on a second. We'll get to you in a second, Carrie. He comes up and says, you know, hey, you're a Jew because your grandma was a Jew. And I'm like, okay, listen, I understand you guys love to do that once you have a conversation with people. And by the way, I found out Beardson's account and I got to see his followers. And I'm sorry, but I'm trying not to fucking laugh. I mean, my interaction on Rumble is better than yours, dude. And that's pathetic because you made it sound like you were Jesus Christ on stilts. Bro, my Rumble is fucking pathetic. And I love my Rumble people, but my interactions are not good. I've never seen anyone worse than mine. Yours are shit. Quickly, I don't care about personal conflicts because honestly, it doesn't matter. What I care about is just truth and honesty. So, Kyrie, if you got something to say, here's your 1 minute. I'll let you talk. I'm not going to interrupt you, but do not disrespect the women of this show and do not lie. Because if you do that, you're going to be gone. Go ahead. There's your minute.
All right. Fair enough, man. The only thing I wanted to address with you is a few jackets that you put on me that I think are totally inaccurate. Okay. For one, I think that you have dated the October event as where all of this started, because obviously prior to that, everything with us was cool and there was no conflict or anything like that. I think that somewhere in between the line of the miscommunication, I think you and I have had a whole lot of misrepresentations of what we mean, what we're trying to convey. And on top of that, it just led to a back and forth. You know what? I'm going to say this. I'm going to diss you on this. I'm going to put this jacket on you. But the reality is, Matt, I don't hate anyone. I have no fight or dog in the current conflict that is going on over there. And that's the God honest truth. I'm no different than anybody out there who has an opinion on certain subjects. And
hold on.
A little technical issue.
Yeah, hold on a second. Do you want to continue? Hold on, please. I just got a cancellation. Streaming stopped because of an internet connection issue. Do you want to end the broadcast?
Where does talk? Oh, it's for.
It's everywhere. Let me find out where we lost. Hold on. It looks like we lost Facebook.
Yep.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do, dude. Call me back in 5 minutes. I'm going to reset and we're going to restart the broadcast, okay?
All right, fair enough.
It's not personal. I'm not doing this on purpose. We just lost Facebook and we just lost LinkedIn.
I know. It is what happened. I understand.
All right, so just pause and then pick up where you left off. And that's why you went digital, because the connection just went to shit somewhere. Somebody got, I don't know. But we're going to reset and call you right back. Or you call me right back. 5 minutes later.